when we're in the middle of something that we don't want to happen, it feels so sticky and like it's the only thing we're ever going to experience ever again. So what do you do when life just suddenly hits? Let's talk about it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my studio. My name's Jillian, and today we're gonna see some art being made while we talk about what it's like to be in a storm. In the last video, we talked about seeking comfort. Comfort as like a core value, as something that we should pursue, that we should go after, we should value, we should find, rather than the grind or working so hard to achieve stuff, you know, like that kind of a vibe. But what if you're in just a moment of your life or a time in your life where there are trials upon trials upon trials, like it's storming? You can feel a little weird, and we're gonna talk about it. But first, let me tell you a little bit about how I made this piece. So we're starting out again with a 24 by 36 canvas. I've found several source images on a new website. It's not new, but it's new to me. It's called Unsplash, and you can pay a fee per month, just like a lot of these other ones, but the quality of the photos is really cool because it's all really talented photographers that are uploading like fashion photos, editorial photos, like beautiful landscapes that are kind of indie and stuff like that. It's not just like your regular like stock photos. It's so cool. I would urge you guys to check it out if you want to find some really cool collage source material to work from. And the color palette, I mean, it kind of matches this pillow that I just bought. We've got pinks, we've got purples, we've got burgundies, we've got greens. And the theme, of course, is the storm. In keeping with what I'm doing, of course, on this channel, this is going to be a tarot card image for my upcoming deck. So let's talk about it. Also, stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to talk a little bit about how I've been integrating the seeking comfort thing into my experience as it's happening. It's been a fun ride the last month. The storm. So what do you do when life just suddenly hits? It's the storm. I'm talking major disruptions and stuff that you really can't control, like this crazy state of the world, like the loss of a loved one, the loss of anything really, just waves of mood episodes, illnesses, tragedy, like these things happen. It's not fun to talk about necessarily, but it happens. This is a fact of our world. We all know it. Sometimes it fucking sucks, but what do? You know, suddenly the clouds roll in and it's just like boom, thunder, lightning, deluge, tornado. Like shout out to the people who live in tornado territory, because like that's bravery to me. Also, have any of you seen a lightning bolt come down like at really close range? I saw this last year and I about cried, but also felt like laughing because the sheer power was just absurd. Anyway, when it comes, it just comes. And when it does, it's so easy to feel just overwhelmed and like profoundly confused. We feel like we're underwater. Even if we're like on solid ground, just everything becomes a bit murky and confusing and sucked in. And of course, in the middle of dealing with something that feels totally chaotic and having wild, disjointed feelings and thoughts are obviously totally normal and like valid and expected in situations like this. But also in times like these, if we actually carefully take a look at our modes of dancing with this chaotic whatever it is that's going on, there's sort of this rich tapestry of our subconscious that starts to become visible. You start to see, how am I orienting myself towards this, and how am I letting this orient itself towards me? How are we doing this? How are we relating to it? Do we fold? Do we rise to greet the occasion or the challenge? Do we run away? Do we adapt creatively? Do we resurrect shitty coping mechanisms to try and deal with the stress? Do we greet it with openness and compassion? Do we fight against feeling it, or do we get up and fight against it for what's right for us? Or do we stand in the center of the storm and just let the storm do its crazy Titanic thing until it passes? Maybe we do a little of all of these things, right? I think we all do. I definitely do. Looking back on some of my own trials, sometimes when I've been like in the thick of it, I've been able to like retain a sense of focus while simultaneously breaking down or being totally freaked out. Or like seeing myself spiraling and noticing how not good that was. While continuing to allow myself to spiral just because the situation felt insurmountable, or like feeling completely inadequate to show up to face this difficulty, but somehow still managing to find joy in spite of it. Like, there are so many weird emotional and psychological textures during times like that, and I think it's supposed to be that way. These trials, these storms, however brutal they are, they have a knack of like showing us who we really are in the middle of it. And if we pay close attention, it can also teach us who we want to become when it's over. Whether that insight comes from like regretting our behavior in the midst of a storm, or using the pain of loss to open our hearts to becoming what we've lost, or even being proud of ourselves just for being strong and finding some course through it, some way through it. It does teach us. No matter how bad it is, it does teach us, I think. And even if things feel insurmountable right now, the sun is always ready to shine on you. It's just behind the clouds. It's gonna come out. And even if you think you're ill-prepared for this thing, I mean, you did bring an umbrella. Your whole life, you've walked through storms. Your whole life, you've faced difficulties and tragedies and lightning bolts, okay? And you've made it through all of them. Like, you've made it. How many times have you thought back to a very difficult situation or like a mindset or an emotional breakdown that seemed like completely inescapable at the moment, and then been like, holy shit, I made it through that. And I made it through that. And I made it through that. Whoa. It's freaking enormous, and I think you should give yourself some credit and give yourself a pat on the back, maybe even give yourself a hug, and know that yes, you will get through it, and yes, it will change you in the process, but that's also a good thing. That's what life is about. And let me touch on this idea of making it or feeling like we're not making it. Like, the fact is we're still here, right? Whether or not we're coping with it well enough or dealing with it well enough or showing up to it well enough, that doesn't matter. We're still here experiencing it. I used to think, I'm not making it. I'm doing so badly. I'm not making it through this. But if I'm here and I'm dealing with it in whatever way that I am capable of dealing with it in that moment, I'm making it. So yeah, give yourself some freaking credit for that one. The solution, aka an idea. Sometimes when we're in the middle of something that we don't want to happen, when it's happening anyway, it feels so sticky and never-ending, and like it's the only thing we're ever going to experience ever again. And I very intimately know that feeling. I'm going to share something that briefly that helped me with facing depression, because that's the trial that keeps coming back for me, believe it or not. But this maybe colors my coping mechanism, I think. So with depression, that black monstrous depth of depression, it was almost always so thick that I just couldn't see anything on the other side of it, whether that was the past or the potential future. And it was so consuming that sort of these concepts of be here now, be in the present moment were like the opposite of anything that would work, because the present moment was terrible. It didn't get me out of it. It didn't help me. And neither did trying to talk about my feelings to a therapist or whatever, because the fact of that kind of depression is that the feelings are just things that your brain is randomly feeding you. It has nothing to do with how your actual life is going, what the external circumstances are going. They're fake feelings in a way. And by focusing too much on what is it like right now, what are the feelings that are happening right now, it just kind of sucks you more into feeling terrible. And it just wasn't working for me. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a candlestick maker, I'm not a therapist, so take this with a grain, okay, but this is just what helped me. I'm just a person telling you about my experience in case it helps you. So, but yeah, like there could be a day where everything is actually going really easy, everything's going my way, maybe a lot of really good things happened, but if you're depressed, you're just like, there's nothing there. Okay, that happened. I still feel like crap. I still can't move my body physically. I still can't put words together. It's a tough one, guys. It does start to get really frightening sometimes because you don't know how bad it's going to be, when it's going to happen, how long it's going to go. You just know that it is going to come, and it kind of makes you feel anxious and like you're always on your toes waiting for the shoe to drop of this depressive episode. But eventually, probably on a day that I was like laying face down on the carpet and just unable to do anything and having a really bad time, something kind of crossed my mind just very briefly, and it was like, this is not me. Like, this might be a moment of me, but it's not actually me. And then later that day, I was looking through photos in my phone for something, and I came across a picture of me from several years ago when this whole situation wasn't happening. I wasn't having these bad episodes, and I was like, oh, that's funny, that's also me. And at first I couldn't wrap my head around it, but then I saw another picture and I was like, that's also me. And then I saw a photo of like me and my family or me and my husband, and it was like, that's me, and those are people that care about me. And as I started to feel better throughout maybe a week or two of this crazy episode, I decided to go ahead and get those photos printed out, and then I created a box, like a shoe box. I collaged on top of the shoe box, and I put each of these photos in this box. And on the back of every photo, before I put it in the box, I wrote, this is me doing XYZ thing that was really cool. Like, this is me winning a race when I was in high school. And I was happy, I was having a great time, and I was so proud of myself. This is me with my parents who love me, who raised me, like, and I feel good about that. Like, this is my husband who I married, who cares about me, who I have great love for. Just little stupid things like that. Or I mean, they're not stupid things. That was the point of the exercise, was that writing these things down and putting them in this box and saving them for later was an exercise in, here's the things that are my past, aka outside of the present moment of that terrible depressive episode, and here's what could be in the future. And I saved those photos in that box, and I said to myself, I never want to feel as bad as I've just felt ever again, and if I ever start to feel bad, I'm going to look at this box and look at all the photos in this box, and it's going to take me out of that present moment and into the truth of who I really am and the truth of who I'm going to become. I guess it worked. I'm still here. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a candlestick maker, I'm not a therapist. I'm just a person who has gone through this time and time and time again, and that's what helped me. I mean, there's a lot of other things that I did to work through and orient myself towards depression or away from depression, or work with those energies and dance with that kind of storm vibe, but that was one of the things, and I'm still here. And I'm so happy I'm still here. It's like so important to remember who you really are in the midst of any kind of a storm, right? Whether it's losing someone you love or losing a job or really any unfavorable thing that we don't want to see happen that's happening to us anyway. Because we can sort of get lost in the unfavorableness of that terrible feeling. It's just so hard to see in any other direction but right here. But remembering who or what we really are outside of just this crazy moment, from that place we get to choose how this thing changes us, how we interact with it, how we dance with it, and how to be the person that we want to be once the sun comes out, once the whole thing's over. And in a really interesting way, I think one of the best things we can do in a storm situation is to just stand in that nasty weather, watch the storm roll by, notice it, notice the thunder, notice the lightning, notice our interaction with it, and wait patiently until the sky clears. There's no final state, guys. there's always something brand new around the corner in our experience. Nothing ever stays the same. Everything moves, everything changes, and that's one of the greatest gifts of life. It's also scary. It's also wild and wacky. But take heart, man. There's no final state. You're gonna get through this thing. You're gonna be all right. Of course, I've told you a story about my depressive episodes, but yes, this applies to anything that could happen. Any trial, any travail, anything, okay? But that being said, I actually have a lot more that I could say about overcoming depression, interacting with depression, walking through that storm. So if that's something that is interesting to you or that you'd like to hear more about, please drop a comment and maybe those can be topics for future videos. I mean, I guess I make videos and make art about my lived experience, so it would make sense if that were the case anyway. The finished artwork, woohoo! But yeah, so this is the resulting art, guys. I absolutely love this piece. Once again, I somehow walked into really weird and cool symbolism without even recognizing it. I had mocked this up on my computer before I started to actually cut and paste these things. I sourced these fish from that one website that I mentioned earlier, Unsplash, and the ones that I found were the clownfish and the fighting fish, aka the betta fish, but he's a fighting fish. And I'd picked them because I'm like, yeah, cool colors, cool patterns. Like, we love it. Let's just go with that. But then in looking at the piece, I was like, oh, these are so indicative of things that we face while we're going through a difficult time. We can fight feeling this difficulty. We can fight against the difficulty. Or the clownfish, we can show up with open-heartedness and playfulness towards it and see how that changes the situation and changes our interaction with it. I mean, this is me ultimately. She's just standing in the middle of it at this point and letting all of these kind of things wash through. She is a little bit in this surreal universe where you can feel the confusion of it. She's getting rained on. She's standing in this puddle. The expression on her face is a little bit like, what the hell is going on right now? So it feels like that kind of confusing, surreal, brain foggy place that can happen. But it's also super beautiful and happy and playful. Like, there's a lot of these cool little floral doodles and motifs throughout. The rain is just dripping beautifully, and there's freaking lightning coming down on one side and the sun rising on the other side. I love everything about how I did this piece. I'm actually really glad that I took a little bit of a break in order to do all this other stuff, because this that came out of that break is just stunning and I'm obsessed. So let's circle back to the topic from last video about seeking comfort. Y'all, I've been seeking some comfort recently, and it's been working out. I've been doing it. I've been really going with the flow of things and not pushing myself too hard. Like, I really feel like I'm embodying that concept from that last video. I had a really good recognition from this past month too. So recently, within the last, let's say 6 months, I've been trying to tune into my body, and I started then to tune into how motivation and energy and spiritual and emotional energy and desire to do XYZ and all of that shows up in my body. A couple weeks ago, I was sitting outside at the fire after dinner, and I just suddenly realized that if my kind of heart center feels like it wants to do something, then my hands want to do it, and then my gut wants to do it, and my eyes and my feet want to do it, and just my entire body starts to want to do it. At that point, the thing just gets done. And if none of those things are firing, it's not going to get done. This was totally the case when I had taken about a week off to do house-related things, and I had announced my kimono sale on my website, but then I realized I hadn't photographed any of these yet, and yeah, it kind of dawned on me like, okay, I have to steam all of these kimonos and photograph all of the new designs.
And create listings for them on their website, and market them, and
wow, that's a lot of work I signed myself up for within a very short amount of time. There was a ton of other things happening too, So it was kind of just a crazy time. Like, we were in the middle of like going to all these tile retailers to pick out tile for our house and like try and get good deals on them. So we had been traveling. We're just making these big decisions for our home, and we're doing these scheduling things with our builder, and the windows were about to get installed, and they have been installed, and they're beautiful. Anyway, with all of that going on and me like committing to this amount of work that I didn't quite know if I could do, I was kind of getting freaked out. I started to think like there's no way I can get this done in time. Halfway through trying to crunch the numbers and of how the heck I'm supposed to get all of it done, and like overly trying to schedule my days and all the things that are going to happen on this day and this day and this day, I was like, hold on. I signed myself up to do this because 1, I want to. 2, I know on some level that I can, like bodily, and I don't know, it's going to be fine. So I took a couple deep breaths and I was like, you know what? Just do what you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be excellent. It just has to be good, which it will be good anyway. And guys, I did what I could, and I was finished with everything a day early. It just flowed so much better when I wasn't obsessed with perfection and efficiency, or like grinding perfectly or achieving the best result. It went off great. I've sold about half of the kimonos so far, and so shameless plug, this is one of the ones that's sold out, but there are quite a few really cool ones left on the website, so if you want to buy one, this is your pretty much only chance for this year. Shameless plug. And the other source of total joy and comfort that I found in the last like month, it finally got warm enough to barbecue outside at night for dinner. I can't really speak highly enough about this activity. Cue the barbecue montage. Every day I get to barbecue is the best day of my life. It's barbecue season. Yes! It's warm enough. It's not windy. It's light outside. And there's this. I just get to stand outside and take in all of this and slowly barbecue some shit and hang out with my dog, who likes to sit by the by the thing there, and just be in my dirt yard and enjoy my life. Every day that I get to barbecue is the best day of my life. I stand by that. And I think I'm always going to stand by that. Just look at this beautiful evening. We've got these cool atmospheric type clouds coming all the way down, and then you got the sun sneaking right down underneath them. This is pure beauty. It's pure joy. It's pure love. Like, I don't know, if you don't think the love of God is real, just look at the beautiful earth we get to live on. It's all Eden, man. I love it so much. Being out here and being grounded with the earth, I feel like it saved me in a way, and I'm able to actually be present with the beauty of being alive and not be distracted by what society wants from us or expects from us, or even how we have like internalized that and what we expect from ourselves. Like, this is good enough, just like we are. And it's all Eden. This being is Eden. This world is Eden. We just have to be able to slow down and appreciate it more. I think that's true. So yeah, all in all, everything worked out great. I sought out comfort and I rejected the mindset or whatever it is. And I got all my work done faster and I got it done happier. That wouldn't have happened otherwise. So case in point for last week's video. So I guess that's about it, guys. We did it. We made some more artwork. Hey, seek peace and comfort when you can. And if you can't, because it's a storm, do your best. let it ride, know it's going to change, and know that the situations and circumstances of our experience always change. Let it teach you, even if it's the worst thing imaginable, it does teach you. That's not just something that I say because it's something that you can say, it's something that I say because I've experienced that. And yeah, I really want you guys to give yourself a hug, give yourself some credit for getting through some difficult stuff, and give yourself some credit for finding joy when you can, okay? And as always, go in peace, spread joy, and keep being awesome. And remember, life is but a lucid dream, baby. Mwah! Help us keep the channel magical by giving it a like and hitting subscribe so we will transmit our magic throughout the universe.